freelance stylist and visual merchandiser, and we have some questions for you. And our first question is, how do you start up with a Christmas shop window, and when?
So this, I think, is once you know what your feeling of your fall-winter collection is going to be, / your holiday feeling, you're going to start right off the bat with planning, what your feeling is going to be, and that really comes from the details of the collection and the brand.
What is the most important to succeed regarding Christmas shop windows and in-store decoration?
I think for me what's the most important for success is to have a consistency and carry through in the store. So when you first approach that window, your customer is going to have that big wow, magical Christmas feeling, and then when they walk into the store, you're going to continue that experience for them through your merchandising and your pause points and in-store display.
How long do you prepare the Christmas decorations?
I think that's case by case. It's going to be depending on how itsy bitsy and how PC your theme is going to be. There could be something as simple as shine is your theme, and you're going to use mirrors, and then it's just clean and simple. Or it could be something that's more traditional or more vintage, and then you're going to have possibly hundreds of pieces of little ornaments and things. So I think it's case by case depending on how intricate your theme is.
How do you see the coming trends regarding shop windows display?
This one is really cool. I think there's a lot of different approaches to Christmas, again, like whether it's whimsical or natural or futuristic or simplistic. But what I'm seeing this year is, a lot of people are making it a little more interactive for their customer, where it'll be something like, here's the theme of our window and we've picked a specific charity. If you upload a picture on social media and use this hashtag, we'll go back and donate to this charity for you, which is great because, the holidays are all about giving. And it's an excellent marketing tool.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Jenga.
Hi.
Hi. We're very pleased to come to you and hear what you had to say about the Christmas decoration and all your experience and how you work and what you have to say. So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
One of those are, how do you start off with a Christmas shop window and when?
We start looking for inspiration for the Christmas windows over the summer, usually around July. And I think that my team usually focuses on pulling things from pop culture and now social media. We have the luxury of having art museums all over the place in New York that do lots of contemporary stuff, so we're seeing a lot of new artists here. And I think they're able to pull all of those things together so that in the summertime we sort of present ideas of where we see the holiday windows going.
What's the most important to succeed regarding Christmas shop windows and in-store decoration? What do you think about that?
I think the visual impact is what sets you apart from other retailers. I think the styling, the marketing message, and the consistency throughout the store are all the major impacts that would sort of turn a customer from going one place to another. So, for example, if you have a strong message of 40% off Black Friday in your windows and all the way following through your stores, you know, people who are walking the streets are going to remember that that's happening. And I also think that we have to create an aspirational vision of what we are trying to present inside of the store. So that's where the styling comes into play is, you know, especially in sort of the new fast fashion or trend forward retailers, the styling is so important because you have such a wide variety of SKUs inside the store that you have to tie that stuff back together. And so that's why I feel like the marketing and the styling is like, and the overall like impact of what's going on outside is what's going to get the customers in.
Yeah. Do you take help from another AD agency or something?
With the big retailers I've worked for, we haven't. It's always been done in-house with the teams that I've worked with. I have done other projects where we've worked with outside vendors, but for the most part, we build everything in-house.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And not especially for the Christmas season or something.
No.
You do everything yourself.
It's just especially most of my experience is in New York. But honestly, it's so expensive to get outside vendors when you're working in New York that you can pay a whole team for a year to be building elements and have like really impactful holiday windows and still not spend as much money as you would just spending it on having holiday elements built for your stores here, you know? So it just ends up being more lucrative and, in my opinion, better for the people, because if you can give somebody a full-time job in design and building that lasts the whole year long, I mean, that's such it's like a better career for them in the long run too. So I've always been a big proponent of, if we can do it in-house, let's do it.
How long do you prepare the Christmas decoration?
We start building for Christmas in August.
Okay.
And usually it's be the end of August. So the end of August, beginning of September, we usually have one window installation in between there, which is like a back to fall window, which happens mid-September. So we stop building for a week and then we set up the last week of October. So I guess it's between probably 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
With some breaks.
What about the future? How do you see what do you think about the trends? What's coming next? And
well, okay. There's a part of me that thinks that retail's going to go totally technology, total techno. And me being the age that I am, I want to believe that maybe isn't going to happen. I would like to, I'm a letter writer, I'm a tape user. I hope that there are some places that stay, that keep the integrity of what the window display sort of, that we all grew up loving. There's something that's exciting about seeing people working in the windows rather than just seeing screens go in with like wild images. And as impactful as it is, there's something that feels kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel as homegrown to me, and there's something that I like about the homegrown feel of people working in windows, and I don't know, it just sort of encapsulates the whole holiday season and what the holidays should feel like. So I don't know. I don't know if I answered that good, but
maybe the mix of it.
Maybe there's a mix. Hey, if there's a mix, I'm happy with that, because obviously things have to progress. It's sort of like when everyone started using digital video instead of 30mm films, and I was like devastated. Because I have a master's in fine arts and film production. That's what I went to school for, and I was like, I was horrified because of the amount of work that goes into lighting actual film versus digital video. And then Jean-Luc Godard came out with a digital video film, like a feature-length film. And I was so mad because he was one of my idols. But I went and watched the film and I thought it was beautiful and I loved it. And and it's sort of, it was like, there are things to be learned, there are things to grow from, embracing technology. I just hope we don't lose completely the other end of it as well, like the handmade part of what can happen in the holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm totally with it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi Gina, nice to have you.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that we can make this interview.
Oh, yeah.
Please tell about your title from Macy's.
I do visual merchandising and display in store. I work specifically on the women's shoe floor, doing mannequins, display, sort of whatever visual things need to get done. Merchandising, I assist the merchandising team, just adding more of a visual hand to it.
Katrine and I have walked through the Macy's today. It looks amazing. And we look at the shop window, of course. Do you know, can you tell us about the shop windows or the Christmas in general? When do you start up and make the plans?
Usually, well, now that Christmas has been installed, this is when the plans for next year start getting thought up, because we need as much time as we possibly can to prepare, make bulk purchase orders for decorations, or if it's for windows, specifically working with really specific designers for lighting or any animatronics that need to get made. So everything really is done as soon as we possibly can. But the plans probably hit the store and we start installing things around the springtime, where we're getting things ready, we're prepping things, we're building things, we're getting things ready, and then getting ready for August.
Yeah, it looks really amazing, and I think it's a big crew of people who's making them as well.
Yeah, we have about 25 people working as visual display inside the store. Only about 8 on the Windows team, but we also work together. There's a common vision and goal for everything to be visually cohesive throughout the entire store. So,
what do you think? What is the most important thing to succeed with a Christmas decoration or display or shop windows?
I think preparation is one of the most important things. If the tools you're working with or the materials that you're using or thought would work to make this beautiful display aren't working, and you haven't left enough time to recalibrate and come back, or maybe you have a happy accident in the creation process, having as much time as possible is really important, and having the right people that are going to give honest feedback of like, we can produce this in this amount of time, or if we make it this way, we can make 6 more of them for half the price, or something like that, where it's, I think having we do have a lot of voices at Macy's. I think it's very helpful.
When we look at the store or department store, it's a lot of things going on, and I wonder, do you take help from other agencies in the Macy's, or is it internal?
It's surprisingly, it's all internal. Macy's, we like to do everything from the inside. We'll hire freelancers for help, but
There is some of the main displays on the first floor that you mentioned. Some of that, if it's really oversized, will get installed by an outside company.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we rent cherry pickers and everything gets installed. We have in-store carpenters, electricians, plumbers, welders to help and install. A lot of the display items will be made by outside companies. They also work, oddly enough, with the parade group. So things that are made for the parade, floats and stuff like that, is also coinciding with events in the store. So Christmas, the Thanksgiving Day parade is matching, with the in-store display, and it's all sort of coordinated.
Yeah.
But everything in store is pretty much done by people in the store. So
It's amazing.
yeah.
So, if you think about the future, what do you think is the coming trends regarding shop windows and displays, actually?
I think interactivity is a really big, something I really like personally. We had windows last year that were motion sensitive, so when you walked in front of them, music would play, or you could animate a digital background. Also having like really flat screen televisions and like integrating display or digital displays and interactivity with all of the things that people love about windows. The handmade aspect, the very detailed little fashion items, but having all the technology that we're all used to. Scanning things with our phone, uploading selfies, hashtagging things. Like, this is how people live. So that's how stores have to sort of be, like an interactive. I've seen interactive mirrors where you can try things on, but only in, not really in a store, only for like a pop-up shop. So maybe things like that will get more consumer level, which would be really nice.
So, thank you, Gina. It was a pleasure to have you here. And good luck and Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Make your own marshmallow factory? Oh yeah, right by the Wellington there. Dude, there's so many things I want and so few Christmases. It sucks.